Yes, good day, class. I welcome you to our revision segment of September papers. Today we are working, I'm going to be doing with you September paper 1, Northwest Province. Northwest Province, just get connected and mark yourselves. Know your status now and fix it now. The memo is there, it's gonna just be there right now. I'm going to be giving you extensive explanation with regard to each of the questions that are attached here. So without wasting any time, let's just go straight to our questions. I'm saying please note that this is a Northwest paper, Northwest Provincial Government. So the previous one was a Free State. We are doing today Northwest Province. So let's quickly just go to our questions without wasting any time. We are given that uh, instructions are always similar or are always the same. Let's quickly just go to the question. Question 1.1. For the interest of time, I just want to make as short as time as possible on this paper. Photoreceptors or receptors stimulated by dim lights is what? Which ones are stimulated by dim lights? It is what? It is the rods only. So our question 1.1, it is rods only that are stimulated by dim light. The receptors in the inner ear that are sensitive to the position of the body. What are those ones? I'm sure that if you can check from the previous paper we did of FS, this question was there on the long question again, explaining the balancing, the restoration of balance, and also the change of body position. So it is the maculae which is responsible for what? Which is responsible for which are sensitive for the position of the body. And then next question, what is it? The nerves that link receptor and effector organs with the brain and spinal cord are dash. What are those receptors? Like I'm saying, I'm just quickly running this question because I just want to make it as short as possible. I don't want to make it so long because of the length. It becomes boring. So it is the nerves that link the receptors and effector organs with the brain are. What type of nerves are those ones? What type of receptors are those? It is the peripheral nerves. The peripheral nerves, they are the ones which are responsible for the receptor and effector organs with the brain and the spinal cord. And then question number 4, a treatment for middle ear infection is it is what? It is the middle ear infection. I've been talking and we have answered it before. The groomes. The groomes are used for middle ear infection. An under-secretion of ADH in a patient leads to what? Antidiuretic hormone in patient, it leads to what? High concentration of sodium in the urine, the formation of large volume of urine, and the presence of glucose in the urine and decreased thirst. What is it that it leads to? Formation of large volume of what? Of urine. Formation of large volume of urine, number 5. Number 6, which of the following is responsible, is a response of the human body when adrenaline is released? Adrenaline is released, which one is responsible? Increased conversion of glycogen to glucose. Increased conversion of glycogen to glucose for the need or for the increase of energy. Glycogen should be converted back to glucose. So we can safely say that it is a decreased oxygen intake, increased blood flow to the intestine, no, decreased blood flow to the muscle and heart. So it is number 6, it is A, increased conversion of glycogen to glucose when there is an increase in the what, which is caused by a release of adrenaline, the fight and flight mode responses. Number 7, a person experiences the following symptoms. Loss of weight, is always hungry, never feels cold. The explanation for this combination of symptoms is that the person is what? Number 7, secretes too much growth hormone, is a diabetic and just had an insulin injection, is an underactive hypothalamus, has an overactive thyroid gland when he has those symptoms. So it is an overactive thyroid gland causes loss of weight. It causes the person is always hungry, and also there is also high temperatures where the person will never feel cold. One of the functions of the hormone progesterone is to progesterone. What is the function of the progesterone hormone? Speed up the development of follicles, not really. Maintain the uterine walls for implantation of the embryo. This is quite correct. I'm saying as we are doing these questions class, just be ready and fast as you are going to be going for your exams. You need to be knowing these answers fast and furious, because you are just doing your revision. You must be quite ready. Number 9, the pituitary gland is located where? Where is the pituitary gland located? It is located below the thalamus. That is quite correct. It is located below the thalamus. It is located below the thalamus. That is quite correct. The next question, give the biological term for each of the following descriptions. The ability of the lens of the eye to alter its shape for sharp vision. I'm sure this we once also talked about it, which we said that is what is accommodation. Accommodation, the changes of the eye lenses in order to accommodate, or in order to take to have clearer of near and far vision. A disease caused by damage of the medallion sheath of the neurons, characterized by physical and mental disabilities. It is what damage of the medallion sheath. I also said last time, the previous question paper, it was talking about something else, which I also indicated to you that it can be multiple sclerosis, because multiple sclerosis, it has to do with the damaging and forming of scars on the neuron as a result of what? Of the damaging of the medallion sheath there. So it is what? It is multiple sclerosis. Multiple sclerosis. The maintenance of a constant internal environment in the human body. I'm sure this is called what? Homeostasis. We remember we talked about this also, homeostasis. Last time when I was telling you that the body has to maintain more or less constant environment, which is called homeostasis. The glands that pour their secretion directly into the bloodstream, they are called endocrine glands. They are called endocrine glands. Endocrine glands. I remember we talked about the endocrine and exocrine glands. Control of the level of water in the body. Control of the level of water in the body is also called what? Osmoregulation. The balancing of water in the body is called osmoregulation. The hormone responsible for stimulating milk production, I'm sure this is also repeated again, is what? It's prolactin hormone. It is prolactin hormone. And then a decrease in the internal diameter of blood vessels, which decreases blood flow. I'm sure that we have been talking about this human skin vasoconstriction, which I quite sure that we talked about that vasoconstriction. Vasoconstriction, it actually happens in order to reduce the flow of blood to the surface of the skin, which happens on a cold day, to say the surface blood capillaries, they vasoconstrict. Vasoconstriction, that is narrowing of the blood vessels in order to ensure that the less blood flows on the surface. And then indicate it's A or a B or a both. The ability of the to see objects close by but not objects far away, what is it called? A long-sightedness or a short-sightedness. Close by but not far away. So it means it is what? It is B only, because we can't see far objects. And then the area in the retina that contains the highest number of cones and no rods. What is it that contains highest number of cones and no rods? What is it called? It is the what? It is the yellow spot. B only. And then a neuron that links one neuron with the other, with the next inside the central nervous system. I'm sure that you know that is what it is the connector neuron. It's the interneuron, which we are saying is sensory known. These ones are no, so it's none of these ones. It is the connector neuron or interneuron. So it is what? It is none of these which are given there, because these ones are what are not the ones that do the work. None of the above. Let's rush to the next question. The diagram below shows organs involved in the endocrine system. Is the part of female reproductive organ, is the part of the pancreas, is part of the testes, and then we have got the kidney, and we have got questions which says give the letter and name of the gland or a hormone that influence height, building, and bones muscles. Give the letter and name. So it needs the name, the letter and name of the hormone that is responsible for building bones and muscles. Which one is it? So it is what? The letter and name. So it is the growth hormone, which is responsible for that, which is found in what? In F. It is what? F. And then we know that is growth. It is called growth hormone. The growth hormone is the one that does this. Growth hormone. And then influence height, that is growth hormone number 1.1.1. It is growth hormone. Question serves as both endocrine and exocrine. This question I also even taught my learners in class last time that there is the letter of the gland that serves as both endocrine and exocrine. Which one is it? It is supposed to be known that is what is the pancreas, which one is the pancreas, which is both endocrine and exocrine, which is what? Which is B, is the pancreas. It's what? B. Pancreas. And then secretes hormone responsible for pregnancy. It is the ovaries that are responsible for pregnancy, which is hormone A, is A, and ovaries. And then secretes a hormone that when imbalance causes goiter. Goiter is caused by what? It is a hormone that is secreted from the thyroid gland. So thyroid gland, which one is showing the thyroid gland here? Secrete the hormone that is responsible for that balances when imbalance causes goiter. So it must be what? It must be E and what? In thyroid gland. It should be E, and then it is thyroid. Thyroid gland controls sexual secondary characteristics in males, which we are saying is testosterone hormone. It is produced from the testicles, which can be seen that it is what? It is also C, and then the testes, which we can say testes is saying give the letter and name of the gland or hormone. So the hormone, obviously, we are saying it is what is the testosterone. The testosterone hormone is the one that is secreted by what? By C. testosterone hormone. So take note of the question, please, classy, and don't make mistakes. Next question, 1.5. Below shows an amniotic egg of different organisms. It shows amniotic egg of different organisms. And then we have got those fish, reptiles, and birds, mammals. And then I'm sure that we know that an amniotic egg is a what? It's a shelled egg. It's a shelled egg. An amniotic egg is a shelled egg. What precocial development? What is precocial development? It's a type of development where the young can move and feed in directly after hatching. That is this one. Precocial development, a type of development whereby the young one can move and feed. The young one can move and feed directly after hatching, immediately after hatching. Immediately after hatching. So please note that the precocial is the what? Is the opposite of artificial. Artificial, it is then the young one cannot do anything. So this one, the young one can move. It can move. It can also feed immediately after hatching. That is precocial. Give the function of part labeled B. Give the function of part labeled B. B, it plays the role of what? Which is it is actually responsible for what? For gaseous exchange, as you can see there. It's responsible for gaseous exchange. It is responsible for gaseous exchange. It is responsible for gaseous exchange. And then the next question, what is it? Name the organism without ariontals. Which organism does not have ariontals? As you can see from this, we can see that it is what we have got, birds and mammals, and this one, it is the what? It is the fish. Fish does not have. Question 1.35. It is the fish. It is the fish. And then the next question is saying, give the letter and name of the part that provides nutrients to the embryo. The letter, give the letter of the name that cannot provide the letter and name, give the name, the part and the, give the letter and the name of the part that provides nutrients to embryo. That provides nutrients to the embryo. In this case, obviously, in this case, it is what? Give the letter and name of the part that provides nutrients to the embryo. In this case, it is what? It is, which is what? Let me check nicely. Obviously, the nutrients are provisioned by the yolk. Yolk is the one that provides the thing. Yolk is the one that provides nutrients. So which is what? Yolk can be seen as what? As A. Letter is what? Is A. And it is the yolk. But in this case, again, I was seeing, I can also see on question 1.5.3 that it can also be what? Mammals also, they also don't have. And also mammals, I'm just picking it up now, that the mammals also, they don't have the ariontals. So question next, name the part that provides mechanical support for the embryo. The mechanical support, obviously, is in any case, it is supposed to be provisioned by amniotic fluid. Amniotic fluid, which we are saying it is the amniotic fluid which provides, or we can say amnion. It is the amniotic fluid. Name the part that provides mechanical support is the amniotic fluid. Number 1.5. Amniotic fluid. Others can just say it's an amnion, which can also be marked correct to say that we can say it's an amnion. It is amnion also. It can be correct to say amnion. And then the next question, 1.5.6, identify one organism that undergoes external fertilization. In this case, obviously, external fertilization, it is done by what? By fish. I'm sure this we once did it. We did it as well. It is a fish or frogs that can do external fertilization. Fish can do external fertilization. One organism that have parental care. I'm sure that is, you can see birds and mammals, they do parental care. Birds and mammals, they do parental care. It is true that you can see the goats, the birds, what you call doves and so forth. So parental care, it is what? The parental care, it is because of we can have the birds. We can also have the mammals, and the part of other reptiles. Other reptiles, they do parental care. We have got, for example, crocodiles and stuff. They do feed their young ones. We are saying viviparous. Obviously, these are what? These are mammals. These are mammals which are viviparous. So, I mean, please take note. Section A, get the total. I always tell students that in section A, there is no reason for you to get less marks. Actually, you must get a total. You must get as many marks as it is possible. And then we are going to answer question 2. Question 2 very fast is the structure of the internal, it's the internal structure of the human eye. We once discussed it again on the channel on previous lessons. Identify and give one function for each of the following structures. A. It is the iris. We can see A there, it is the iris. What is its function? The iris controls the size of the pupil. It is iris which controls size of the pupil, and also it also controls the amount of light that is entering the eye. And amount of light entering the eye. Amount of light entering the eye. And then E, what is part E? E is the optic nerve. We can see that this is an optic nerve, E. Optic nerve. Optic nerve is E, and then what is the function? Optic nerve, it carries impulses to the cerebrum, actually. Is the optic nerve. And then it carries impulses to the brain, which is the cerebrum, to the cerebrum. That is the function. What treatment is prescribed if part B is an uneven surface? If part B has got uneven surface, part B has got uneven surface, what happens there? This actually, like, it has to do with the prescription of the lenses. The lenses, number 2.12, prescription. He has to what to call it, has to do with prescription. It has to do with contracting glasses or lenses. That is the prescription, saying what treatment or it can also be surgical removal of the what of the cornea or surgical alteration of the cornea. Uh, Surgical alteration of cornea. It can also be done, what prescription can be done also, it can also be cornea transplant. And then describe the pupillary mechanism when eyes are exposed to bright light. 2.13, the pupillary mechanism when the eyes are exposed to 2.13. One thing that must happen there, here you just need to understand that the circular muscles are contracting. Circular muscles of the iris, they do contract, obviously, and then the radial muscles relaxing. Radial muscles relax, and then obviously the pupil and the pupil constricts. Remember, we said that the pupil controls the amount of light that is entering the eye, and then the amount of light entering the eye decreases, causing less light to enter the eye. That's what happens then. That's what happens. It is the circular muscles of the iris, they contract, the radial muscles relax, and the pupil constrict, causing less light to enter the eye. That's what happens in this context. And then next question, the human fetus in the uterus, you can see it's more or less similar to the FS that we did last time again. The process by which a blastocyte is attached to the uterine wall. Uterine wall, what is that process called? I'm sure that we cannot want to waste time. It is called what? Implantation. It is implantation. The period during which the fetus develops in the uterus, it is called what? Gestation period or pregnancy. It is called gestation or pregnancy. It is called gestation or pregnancy. And then describe the stages of development of zygote after fertilization. The development of the zygote after fertilization. Describe the development of zygote after fertilization. One, the zygote undergoes mitosis. Zygote undergoes, after fertilization, it undergoes mitosis, which is to form balls of cells. To form actually a ball of cells, which we are saying is what? The morula. And then which develops into a hollow ball. Which develops into a hollow ball. Which develops into a hollow ball of cells, which we call the blastocyte. A hollow ball of cells called blastocyte. So those are the stages, those are the processes that mitosis occurs for forming marula, which also forms a hollow ball, which is called the blastocyte. 2.2.3, 2.2.3 describe the effect of on the fetus if the liquid in part B is not enough during developmental stage. Fluid, which is describe the effect, the issues to do with the amniotic fluid. What would happen if the amniotic 2.2.3, the fetus or the embryo, the fetus of the embryo will not be protected from mechanical shock, will not be protected enough from mechanical shocks, which is physical forces. I'm sure that you remember the function of amniotic fluid is to sustain those forces, and then therefore the baby can easily be injured. And fetus can be easily injured, And then next one, we can also say that if the amniotic fluid is not enough, the fetus will the fetus can be dehydrated. Dehydrated. Also, will not be kept within the small temperature range. Temperature ranges would not be regulated enough. Will not be regulated enough, and then the baby will not also move freely. Will not have free movement, which is a problem. The baby must have free movement, will not have free movement, and can underdevelop muscles, resulting in formation of underdeveloped muscles. Those are also some of the problems that would arise there. There are some problems that would arise if there is not enough amniotic fluid. And then 2.2.4, explain two functions of the blood vessels in the umbilical cord during developmental stage. I'm sure this we also answered it when we did FS paper. We answered this when we did FS paper to say that we have got the umbilical vein and the umbilical artery. So basically is that 2.2.4, 2.2.4, the umbilical vein carries oxygen to the what? To the fetus. We can say gaseous exchange through the umbilical vein, which carries the umbilical vein which carries oxygen to the what? To the fetus, which carries oxygen from the mother to the fetus. And also, we also have the umbilical artery carries what carbon dioxide away from the fetus, also in terms of gaseous exchange. Umbilical artery it carries carbon dioxide. It carries carbon dioxide, which is from what? It carries carbon dioxide away from the fetus. Which is from the fetus to the mother. And then we can talk about another point which has to do with the umbilical vein also carries nutrients to the fetus also. Another point, umbilical vein carries nutrients to the fetus also as well. It carries nutrients to the fetus, carries nutrients to fetus as well. And then the umbilical artery, it also carries nitrogenous waste away from the what? From the fetus. Umbilical artery, it carries the umbilical artery, it carries nitrogenous waste. It carries nitrogenous waste away from the fetus. That is one key thing that we should understand in terms of what? In terms of gaseous exchange, in terms of the functions of the umbilical cord, which has got the umbilical vein and the umbilical artery. I'm sure that we can see the umbilical artery, the umbilical vein, the umbilical artery, and also with regard to their various functions. So please don't make mistakes. Don't get confused. Keep posted and keep connected. It's the human reproductive system, the male reproductive system. Identify part A. Identify part A. A is the urethra. We don't want to waste time there. We can see this is the urethra there. Is the urethra. A is the urethra. Name. Next question is wants us to say name. Name what? Name. Give the name of the part responsible for the following: produces sperms. Give the name. Give the name of the part responsible for producing. Give the name, not the letter. The name. Name of the part producing sperm cells is the what? Is the testes. And then temporal storage of sperms is the epidermis. And then transport semen to the transport of semen to ejaculation, it is also the what? The urethra also. The question wants to give the name of the part, the name of the part, not the letter. So we need to take note of that. The next question is saying, explain the consequences of fertility on fertility if part G is exposed to high temperatures daily. We once talked about this again. It actually it will reduce the production of sperms, and then causing them to be to be unhealthy, and also causing infertility. What happens there? It reduces the production of sperm cells, reduces production production of sperm cells. It reduces production of sperm cells and then causing them to be unhealthy and denatured. Them to be unhealthy. And then eventually making the men to be what? Making the men to be infertile. That is quite true. The men can be infertile. Tabulate two difference between spermatogenesis and oogenesis. I can just quickly draw this one. The table spermatogenesis. Tabulating is to spermatogenesis. And then we can say oogenesis give the differences between this and that. Tabulate the differences. One takes place in the ovary. Oogenesis takes place in the ovary. That is one there. And then it takes place in the ovary. And then this one takes place in the what? In the testes. Two, what happens again begins at puberty, begins before birth. In men, spermatogenesis begins at puberty. Begins at puberty. In female, oogenesis, it begins when before birth during fetal development. Begin before birth. During fetal development. And then we also have number 3, another difference that we can give also. It also results, spermatogenesis results in 4 functional sperm cells. 4 functional sperm cells are produced. Sperm cells are produced in spermatogenesis, and then 1 functional ovum is produced. One functional ovum produced here. That is one key, one other thing there. Last but not least, spermatogenesis is continuous production. Is a continuous production throughout the reproductive life. Throughout reproductive life. But if you look at this one, oogenesis is not what? Oogenesis, no continuous production after a certain age. We know that we have got what? Menopause. No continuous production after a certain age. Which we are talking about the menopause you know that we cannot have oogenesis taking place after menopause. So please note these are the differences there between oogenesis and what? And spermatogenesis. Let me just check. There is a question that draw a label diagram to represent the structure that fuses with sperm cell to form a zygote. So it wants us to draw a diagram to structure of a what? Of an egg. So question 2.35, 2.3.5, it wants us to draw an ovum. That's what it needs here. You can just draw a diagram of an ovum. Just first, the diagram of an ovum, which is like that. And then we have got our internal thing there, which we can also say that this one, we have got inside it, we have got a nucleus. So we can say all this, we can mark it to say that is our jelly layer. So we can say this is the nucleus. Obviously, that's what they want us to draw. And then we have got the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm. And then we have got the jelly layer, which is formed outside there. The jelly layer. And what else is left? And then obviously we have got the inner, which is the cell membrane. That is the cell membrane. So the question you would need always to label, or you'd always have to have caption class, is the structure of the ovum. So that is what they want you to draw. So this is what it is. You draw that diagram and you have got all your marks given without any doubt. You can get all your marks given without any doubt on this. So please note that this is the diagram and you will never go wrong on it. Understand and see the question, what the question would want you to do before you go to make any mistakes there. Let's quickly just go to the next question. Is the graph that shows menstrual cycle. This question was also answered on my YouTube channel. You can as well look on it, just refer to it, and then you can be able to get things right. Let me just, for the interest of others who have not connected, quickly answer it. On which day ovulation take place? Ovulation will always take place on day what? On day 14. Day 14 is always what we know that it is supposed to be what? It is supposed to be day 14. Day 14, between which days menstruation takes place? Menstruation takes place from day 0 to 6. It takes place from day 0 to 6, which can also maybe possibly, we are saying days 0 to 6, and then give one visible reason from the graph for your answer to this above. You can see that what happens there is that endometrium, it breaks down, thickening of the endometrium, and then from there it is going down from 0 to 7 days or so. So from 7 days seems like it was growing. So we can say that the endometrium breakdown. Endometrium breakdown, which is visible on the graph there. Endometrium breakdown is quite visible on the graph there. And then explain why progesterone levels must increase as shown on the graph during the cycle. Why progesterone levels must increase to maintain the thickness of the endometrium class. That is the reason. To maintain the thickness of endometrium. And then next question 2.4.4. Describe the relationship of estrogen and endometrium in the uterine cycle from day 7 to 14. You can see that as the level of progesterone or estrogen increases, as the level of estrogen increases, the thickness of the endometrium increases also. The thickness of endometrium increases. Number 2.4.5. Did fertilization take place during day 28 as illustrated on the graph? We can say that there was no fertilization that took place. It did not take place. It's no. Explain your answer. Is because no corpus, we are saying corpus luteum started to degenerate, causing what? Decrease in the progesterone level. Corpus luteum started to degenerate. Degenerate, causing decrease in what? In progesterone. That is the thing. So we can as well say that progesterone levels have decreased, stimulating the secretion of LH. As you can see there, progesterone levels decreased. It decreased, stimulating or causing stimulating the secretion of LH to start to increase. So if you can look on your graph class, these are the experiences that are quite clear there. These are the all explanations that are given in this respect to say that when progesterone level decreases, we are saying the progesterone level decreases and stimulating the secretion of LH to start to increase, which would cause another cycle to start. So thank you very much for your time. Because of time, we are ending here, and my system is just getting what now. I'm just going to end on question 2, and again question 3. I have answered it also partly on previous presentation. Thank you very much for your time, and keep connected